Welcome back, everybody, to Blood on the Clocktower and to Ravenswood Bluff. Today, let's learn about the custom script. Think You Can Clocktower. Yes, I've done another video. It's helpful, I think you guys appreciate it, and to be honest with you, I kind of like doing it. Creativity is good. It's good for the soul. Let's move on. Think You Can Clocktower takes good and evil players from the core 3 scripts and throws them together into this chaotic and wonderfully enjoyable mix. Let's go through all the roles one by one and see what we can find out. So we start with the Townsfolk. All of the Townsfolk are from the initial 3 scripts. Top row is Trouble Brewing, then second row is Bad Moon Rising, third row Sects and Violence. So what we've got in this script is a good mixture of powerful information roles, first night roles, characters that mess with death, and finally 3 Townsfolk roles that are just pure chaos. Let's start with what we know. We know these 3 roles from Trouble Brewing. Super powerful, super useful to have on the good team. Bosh, let's move on. The other 2 powerful info roles are the Oracle and the Dreamer. Both characters get information every night. The Oracle knows how many dead people or how many dead players are evil, and the Dreamer learns players' characters, but is not sure if their information is entirely correct. Our 2 first night roles are the Grandmother and the Clockmaker. The grandmother knows who their grandchild is, but if they are killed by the demon, then the grandmother dies too. Granny's going to snuff it if her grandchild is killed by the demon, essentially. The Clockmaker knows the distance from the demon to its nearest minion, either clockwise or anti-clockwise. So in this instance, we have Danny the Imp, and we have Ben the Pit Hag. Joss the Clockmaker is told on the first night by the storyteller of 3. This is because there are 1, 2, 3 steps between Danny and Ben. Super useful information. Now, let's look at the 3 roles that either protect from death or provide additional deaths. The Gossip makes a statement to the rest of the town, and if it was true, a player will die. The Gossip will deliberately spread lies in the hope of uncovering the truth. So let's go back to the town square. Laura is our Gossip. One day, Laura, in front of everybody, might declare to the entire group something like, "The demon is a woman." Now, because the player Danny, who is the imp, does not identify as a woman, this statement that Laura, the Gossip, has made is false, and so there will be no additional Gossip death in the night. Let's move on to the Sailor. The Sailor is either drunk or getting somebody else drunk. While the Sailor is sober, they can't die. And lastly, the Innkeeper, who protects people from death at night, but somebody gets drunk in the process. Danny is our Innkeeper. In the night, Danny decides to protect Jimmy Noda and Laura. Now those are both excellent choices, as these players are both very, very powerful and now cannot be killed by the demon. However, it does mean that little Jimmy Noda has stayed a little too long at the inn and has made himself drunk in the process. Therefore, he might wake up in the night and receive incorrect Undertaker information. Now, our final 3 townsfolk, let's embrace the chaos. The Snake Charmer, the Philosopher, and the Minstrel. The Snake Charmer, who learns player after player, is not the demon. But they become the demon if they either get too greedy or too bold. Back to the town square. Ben with 2 ends is the Snake Charmer. He is a townsfolk. He is on the good team. One night, Ben chooses Lizzie. Lizzie is the Clockmaker. Lizzie is a townsfolk. Lizzie is not the demon, so Ben does not get bitten. The next night, however, Ben chooses Jimmy Noda. Jimmy Noda is the demon, so Ben gets bitten. Ben and Jimmy Noda swap alignments and swap characters. Ben is now the imp. Ben is on the evil team. Jimmy Noda is now the Snake Charmer and poisoned. Jimmy Noda is on the good team. Now, Jimmy Noda will probably come out and tell the good team all of the evil information. He'll come out and say that Joss was the minion, come out with their demon bluffs. Ben, on the other hand, has no idea who his minion is. Ben has no bluffs. Ben is in trouble. Now, the other 2 are a little easier to understand. The Philosopher, who once per game is able to choose a good character in the script and gain that ability. However, if they choose a character who is already in the game, that player will be drunk from there on in. In this instance, Joss is the Philosopher, and he decides to take on the ability of the Empath. However, Lewis is already the actual Empath, and so will become drunk due to the Philosopher's choice. And finally, the Minstrel, very simple, who makes everybody drunk if a minion dies, even the evil team. Now, Ravenswood Bluff has many powerful residents, but let's look at the characters who reside on the edge of the wilderness, staring into the town with envious eyes. Our outsiders. We all already know the Recluse from Trouble Brewing. They may register as evil. They may register as good. The Recluse might appear to be an evil character, but is actually on the good team. Simple. The Mutant, who brings madness into this game. The Mutant is killed if they try to reveal who they are. So here we are again with Ben and Nen. He is the Mutant. If Ben comes out and is mad about being an outsider, he says something along the lines of, "Guys, I am the Mutant. No, I am the outsider." Then he may be immediately executed and killed, ending the day immediately and wasting the good team's kill. Let's move on to the Moonchild, who, when they learn that they die, must name a player. If that player is good, then that player will die too. Essentially, the Moonchild curses somebody upon death, killing them in the process. Now the Lunatic, who thinks that they are the demon. When the Lunatic reaches into the bag or is given a character token when we play online, they'll be given a demon token, and they'll be formed they're on the evil team. But they're actually on the good team. They're just a lunatic, they're just an outsider, they don't know it yet. Expect a full-blown paranoid breakdown from whoever is the Lunatic. The Lunatic is essentially is to the demon what the drunk is to townsfolk. It's pretty nasty. Okay, let's shift our gaze to the evil team and look at some dastardly minions. From Sects and Violets we have the Witch and the Pit Hag. From Bad Moon Rising we have the Godfather, and from Trouble Brewing we have our Spy. The Pit Hag changes players into different characters. So in this instance, at the bottom of the town square, we have Joe as the Pit Hag. The Pit Hag can choose one player and select a character from the script that's not already in play, and that character will transform into them. So in this instance, Joe decides to pick on Lizzie. Joe decides that he wants to transform Lizzie into a recluse. However, seeing as Bill Gaines is already the recluse, the transformation fails. You can't have two of the same character after all. However, if Joe were to select Moonchild, then Lizzie would change character. They would no longer have the ability of the more powerful Raven Keeper, and they would have to settle for the slightly lame Moonchild. Other things that Pit Hag can do, they can turn good players into good minions. So in this instance, Joe has transformed Joss into a witch. Now bear in mind that Joss does not change alignments and so remains a good player, but has the ability of the witch. The Pit Hag can also change himself into a different demon if they wish. Here, Joe decides that he is bored of being a minion and would like to become the demon, so he turns himself into the Vortox. However, as deaths are arbitrary when a new demon is made, 90% of the time, the storyteller will end up killing the original demon. Now, this might seem harsh on the evil team, but having two evil demons who can kill, both of them can kill twice per night, is overpowered. Okay, second minion, the Witch, who curses players so that they die if they nominate. Simple on this, the Witch can get an extra kill by cursing a player. In this instance, Lewis is the Witch. They target Bill Gaines because they know that Bill is hungry for nominations and will probably nominate someone the next day. If Bill decides to nominate, then they will instantly die. This doesn't count as an execution, the day will not end, but it is a kill for the evil team nonetheless. From Bad Moon Rising, introducing the Godfather, who takes revenge when the town kills outsiders. Jimmy Noda here is our dastardly Godfather. The Godfather appearing in the script affects the number of outsiders in the game. So in this instance, the number of outsiders has been increased by 1, and the number of townsfolk has been decreased by 1. In this game, we have Danny the Mutant, Laura the Recluse, and Joss the Moonchild. Jimmy Noda starts the game by knowing that these 3 characters are in play, but does not know which players they are. If during the day the town decide to execute an outsider, in this case Joss, the Moonchild, then Jimmy Noda will get a free kill in the night. This is on top of the regular kill that the demon would normally get. And finally, we all know the Spy from Trouble Brewing. The Spy might appear to be a good character, but is actually on the evil team. They also get to see the grimoire, i.e. the roles and the characters of everybody within the game. Okay, and let's round off our introduction to this script by visiting our demons. This script is quite friendly to the new players because there's only a choice of 2 demons, so being able to work out which demon is in play is a simpler puzzle than some of the other scripts. The Imp from Trouble Brewing is the bog standard vanilla demon. Each night choose a player, they die. If you kill yourself, a minion becomes the Imp. So the Imp kills during the night and can make copies of itself for a terrible price. Does the Imp kill themselves off to buy themselves credibility? But then they'll risk an evil player being down. It's a tricky decision. And finally, our Vigor Mortis, who kills their own minions, but those minions keep their ability. So once again, the Vigor Mortis affects how many outsiders are in the game. They reduce the number of outsiders by 1. So there would be 1 additional townsfolk and 1 fewer outsider in this game. So the demon in any game can kill whoever they want to. All demons can kill their own minions. But the Vigor Mortis has a cool ability when they decide to target their own team. If Jimmy Noda were to target Lizzie, Lizzie would die. That sucks. But Lizzie keeps their ability even when they're dead, and in this instance would be able to hex another player as usual. In addition to this, one townsfolk neighbour of the targeted minion, in this case the empath Bill Gaines, would be permanently poisoned for the rest of the game. Why bother killing off a minion so early? Well, it means the minion can continue their dastardly work without fear of being killed. In addition, being killed off early is a great way of gaining the good team's trust, and it could lead to their downfall. So, there we go. That's our game of Think You Can Clocktower. This is a really interesting script because it combines a lot of the key mechanics from the base scripts and throws them all together into this confusing maelstrom. It also gives the good team a chance to play some different characters. So you're not playing the bog standard trouble brewing base townsfolk. What's interesting though is there's no simple way to solve this game. First night characters, for example, might remain quiet and might not come out. Let's have a look at everybody. The grandmother, for example, a powerful info ability, will not be able to share their information freely for fear of their grandchild being targeted by the demon. There are, in this script, 2 townsfolk roles who can prevent deaths in the script. However, unlike the monk and the soldier in Trouble Brewing fame, they can cause drunkenness in other players. So the innkeeper may think that they are doing a good thing by protecting their allies from the demon, but they're actually harming them by making their information false. The innkeeper could even end up inadvertently picking a demon. The demon would become drunk that night, thereby preventing a kill entirely. It's entirely possible. Look at the number of characters that could cause extra deaths here. Let me give you a situation involving these characters here. If a demon killed the grandchild, then there was a correct gossip, then a godfather hit, then a moonchild cursed the town, we could be looking at 5 deaths in one night. I mean, even the demons can't rest easy here. With the Oracle in play, the Vigor Mortis might think twice about killing a minion through fear of being identified and being killed. Even the very nature of good versus evil is thrown around in this game. If you throw a handful of these characters here into the game, then you have a good chance of having a good character who can steal another character's ability, a good player who registers as evil, an evil player who registers as good, a good player who thinks they're evil, and a character who can become evil if they're not careful. This script doesn't even allow for the age-old strategy of identifying outsiders from the very get-go. By the nature of this script, the outsiders want to remain silent for fear of miscommunication, causing death, instant execution, or in the case of the lunatic, and I can't emphasize enough quite how stressful being the lunatic is, because you think you're on the evil team. What absolute chaos. But hey, guys, on the plus side, at least there's no butler in this script. It's chaos, it's carnage, and it's a lot of fun and a chance to play some fun characters. Thanks for listening, hope it was helpful. Have fun, be safe, find the demon.